That is a picture of me on the left. That's Harold Thomas. He was Marine Corps. And that's Herbie Carnes. He was in the Merchant Marine.
Vic Vogelin says this picture was taken after he and his buddies won a skeet shooting contest upstate.
The stakes were high. We won everything at that shoot. We won $3 and a dead chicken.
It was not long after the boys proved their marksmanship that the real shooting began overseas. Vic and Harold were sent to the Pacific Theater, and both were involved in the invasion of Iwo Jima. It was after that horrific battle that Vic made a discovery.
And I was on the beach after things had quieted down somewhat, and I saw the drawstrings of a small bag sticking out of the sand, and I just bent over it and pulled it up to see what was on the other end of the strings.
Inside the bag, he found over 100 letters to and from a Japanese soldier who died during the fight. The young sailor took them home and put them in a suitcase.
And I just managed to keep them safe for 62 years.
That's when he heard about the Clint Eastwood-directed film Letters from Iwo Jima. Vogelin contacted Eastwood's film company in California but couldn't get past the receptionist. Another call to the Japanese embassy in New York was never returned, so he called the Herald-Record.
Shortly thereafter, that night it was, I got a phone call from Jeremiah Horrigan, and from there the story has taken off.
A man who was not used to the limelight soon had TV crews set up in his kitchen. A Japanese network translated some of the letters and broadcast the soldier's name back home.
Within 30 hours, I figured that they had located the family in Japan.
It turns out that the soldier, whose name was Tadashi Matsukawa, has a surviving brother, now 80 years old. Up until now, the family had no idea where the young man had died during the war.
The Japanese government didn't tell him that he had died on Iwo Jima. That was the big bonus for me.
Wary about passing the letters along to slow-paced government officials, Vogelin entrusted the irreplaceable bundle to James Ottaway, the retired chairman of Ottaway Newspapers, which publishes the Herald-Record.
It took a little bit over a month with a lot of help from the Record, and it's going to make a lot of people in Japan very happy. It seems like the world is just happy to see some peace news for a change. This is not a war story, this is a peace story. And that's the difference. And there was the beach. It wasn't, might have gone a mile this way and a mile that way. But
while waiting for the letters of a long-dead soldier to be delivered, Vic says he's been kept busy talking to school kids about the futility of war. He hopes that one day, at least one of his young listeners will take the message of an old man to the powers that be.
And hopefully gets to a big room full of diplomats someday, and maybe they'll get the idea from all countries that they don't have to send the infants to war. Can't be more straightforward than that.